All the evidence is pointing to an explosion of bandwidth as countries build out the national broadband network. And this is equally for the wired fixed networks, for cable and fibre-based networks to the home, but equally for mobile broadband networks as we build out the 3G networks, and also we see an emergence of LTE networks. This will have an impact for our customers, service providers, of how they aggregate the bandwidth, all this bandwidth coming into the core of the network, and how to avoid causing a bottleneck within the core of the network. As these networks evolve, there's some key elements that our customers are asking us and are looking for us to focus on. And this is around lifecycle management of the technology. How do you evolve the existing technology without having to rip and replace? How do you get better operational efficiencies and drive automation and resilience in those networks? How do you get better lifecycle management from the same platforms? How do you minimise the amount of downtime so you can actually scale and evolve these networks? And then finally, how do you decost and evolve the network to get better architectural efficiencies from what they have? The service provider's network is really an opportunity for them to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. And there's a couple of key considerations that we're reminded of often when we talk with our customers that they're looking for of how they evolve those networks. Capital efficiency, so how do they get better utilisation of the capital dollars or scarce capital dollars they have. Operational efficiency, so as the bandwidth of the network scales and the network expands, how do they get better utilisation of the scarce operational dollars they have. Life cycle management, so we often hear about total cost of ownership, about when they look at this, they're not looking at it as an individual element, but at the total cost and the life cycle costs of those elements in the network. And then finally around decosting the network, and here I'm talking about more of the architectural advantages of how you evolve your network and actually remove cost to manage the bandwidth in the network. And that's really about creating a real competitive advantage for our customers. Ciena addresses these solutions in a couple of ways. Firstly, around having a flexible transport architecture, one that has the capacities or scalable capacities that can evolve from low order capacities from 2.5 gig to 10 gig and scale to 40 gig and 100 gig all within the same chassis, to have the intelligence in the terminal to actually manage the compensation electronically on the line to remove a lot of the operational expense out of the network. Equally, to have a feature set that is flexible to meet the network requirements, but also the service providers and customer requirements, and to have some provisional ports so it creates flexibility as far as interfaces the customer use. And finally, having a control plane architecture necessary to generate the level of automation in the network to actually realise the operational and capital efficiencies from that you've built into the network. Two strong examples come to mind about how we have demonstrated our next generation optical platform. One with Telstra in Australia and the other globally with Verizon. Telstra in 2009, we actually demonstrated 100 gig service between Adelaide and Sydney. And this was 100 gigs running in parallel with 3 by 40 coherent gig channels, fully loaded. We ran that unregenerated over the 2,000 kilometre length to demonstrate that we can actually drive the distances from this technology, driven off the ActiveFlex 6500 platforms. With the 40 gig to demonstrate we could actually get further reach, we actually looped around and drove another 3,400 kilometres. How easy is it to deploy 100 gig in a network? Well, that's exactly what we did with Verizon. Back in 2009, we connected the Paris to Frankfurt link, upgrading an existing 10 gig link to 100 gig by card upgrade, demonstrating that we can actually upgrade in service to 100 gig and coexist on an existing uncompensated 10 gig line. This also brings in Ciena's electronic dispersion compensation technology, which allows the line to be equalised and drives a lot of operational efficiencies for our customers. We are now moving forward, upgrading to 100 gig E solutions to carry a native 100 gig technology as well. I don't see a slowdown in the bandwidth demands in the marketplace. Our customers are continuing to ask us to innovate for the deployed assets they have in their networks. Ciena continues to be very active in the innovation around higher line rates. We've extensively deployed our 40 gig technologies. We are deploying our 100 gig technologies. We're already looking at faster line rates, leveraging new modem techniques to be able to bring to market with our customers.